Welcome to day 5 of the Daily Doodle December Challenge. Before we dive into doodling, I like to pause for 3 deep breaths together. So I like to close my eyes and invite you to do the same, or look downward with soft focus. Inhaling deeply through the nose. And release it with a big sigh out through the mouth. Letting go of tension in the body. Inhaling again through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Letting go of thoughts and worries. And then one more time, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Letting go of anything else that you need to release to be fully present right here, right now, to do some doodling from a calm and relaxed place. Let's dive in. So today's doodle is going to be a series of tiny leaves. I'm going to start in the bottom right corner and just make 2. And then 2 more. 2 more. I'm not concerning myself with consistent size or shape. I'm going back in and filling in some places with 2 leaves, but in other places just a single leaf. And as much as possible, I'm aiming to fill in the square as completely as possible with these little leaves. Differing sizes. Every time I do one of these, the pattern ends up slightly different. As you can see, I don't work methodically over the page. I move all around. You'll also notice there I'll do a 3. I'm not working methodically and I'm moving fairly quickly. Doing my best to not overthink this. Checking in with my shoulders, my neck and face. Releasing any tension, if any has crept in. And as with most of the patterns that I choose for my art journaling, they're often quite busy with a lot going on, and that helps to distract the eye. So the eye doesn't focus in on any one particular shape or area. And then after the whole thing is filled in with leaves, I go back in and color in with black all of the spaces between the leaves. So if you've been following along for these first 5 days, you've probably noticed that even though the size and shape of the daily square that you're working in or the rectangle on the week at a glance page, the size of the space that you're working in is the same every day, but the length of time it takes you to complete your doodle will vary quite a bit depending on how detailed the doodle is, whether you add color or not. But even if you're not adding color, the doodles that have the coloring in with black, like we're doing here, tend to take longer. But they're also generally quite stunning when they're finished. So as I color in, occasionally I may smooth the shape of a particular leaf. Again, you're probably noticing I'm a bit random. I move around the page. Don't go in any particular order. These spaces are quite tiny, and I'm using the 1.0 millimeter pen again, so I'm having to be quite careful. Probably could have colored this one in with a finer tip pen, but this works. I look forward to filming this every day. Such a fun activity to do as part of my business. I feel very fortunate that I get to play like this as part of my quote work. But even if it wasn't part of my work, I would still do it. Maybe not a challenge like this, but I would still doodle frequently. Because I really do always feel a bit better after I finish. I'm going to color this one in completely because it got so small and kind of just turned into a little circle. So there you have it, the finished black and white version of today's doodle. Now I'm going to add color. It had been my intention on this piece to vary the colors that I use, but also to vary the tools that I use. And I may do that as the page progresses, but I am finding that these fine-tipped, inexpensive markers are working really well in these tiny spaces for adding vibrant color. So, like yesterday and like I did on Monday, I am using the markers again. Varied colors. Being mindful of the sound of the marker against the page. Letting the sound soothe. So I'm randomly spreading the color around in different leaves across the page. But in some instances, I've got, the same color side by side, and that's fine. This is a random pattern of color, unlike yesterday where there was a repeating series. I try to move. I'm not trying to move. I was going to say I'm trying to move quickly. I'm not trying to move quickly. I'm trying to be very intuitively led about where to put the colors and not pause often, because that tends to be when I'm overthinking. So I'm not rushing, but I'm encouraging myself to keep the pen moving. Which doesn't mean I will never pause. A bit of overthinking can't always be avoided. I do want to add in some silver, so I'll switch to silver. So this is Jelly Roll gel pen again, which I've used on previous pages. Previous squares. A little bit of metallic sparkle feels festive to me. Okay. Coming back to a few more colors. This one's purple, but it's not that far off from the pink. Still have one more shade I would like to use. And that is sort of a salmon-y color. I would love to hear in the comments how relaxing you're finding the challenge, whether you're following along day by day or whether you're doing a few days at a time. I'd also love to hear what your favorite supplies and colors are. You can comment on the video, but you can also head to the YouTube communities, which I've set up now. And I think you can even share a pic of your finished piece if you like. So that is it for today's demo. Now I am going to color in my dragging star. I'll do pink today. Dun, dun, dun. Feels so good. And now I will show you this is the page that I've been working on to show you monochromatic all greens and golds. And then this is today's square on the larger shape, the week at a glance page, monochromatic blues and silvers. So hopefully that gives you a lot of great ideas for doodling today.